Hey guys, I'm Gabby, International Ambassador for Mutari Cosmetics, and welcome to Mutari Academy. Take a look at this transformation. Like what you see? Please follow my step-by-step video to see how we achieve this incredible transformation. So to start our project, we'll be using the line SOS Louros. First, we'll shampoo our model twice using the Blonde Clear shampoo. Next, you want to apply the SOS Reconstructive Spray directly onto your client's hair. And finally, we'll be applying our mask piece by piece. Our mask is rich in royal jelly, creatine, and soy peptides. Helps reconstruct colored and lightened hair. You let it process for 5 to 10 minutes before you rinse. Now we've finished with the treatment process and we brought our client back to our chair for our haircuts. For this transformation, we've chosen to fuse two styles together. We've taken our classic A-line bob and fused it with a modern shaggy layer. To begin, you want to determine your client's natural part. It is very important that you start with a natural part so that you don't end up with two different lengths in the front. From there, you want to section from ear to ear and straight down the middle, creating two panels in the back. So to begin our haircut, you want to ask your client kindly to tuck their chin, and you will be starting at the nape of the neck. Using your index finger as a guide, slide down to create your first cut. Coming at a diagonal backwards direction, you want to join the new section with the previous section, cutting in the same diagonal direction, almost creating a slight horseshoe shape. And you're going to want to work in diagonal forward directions, small sections at a time, being sure that they're transparent so that you're able to see your guide until about mid-ear. Always remembering to over-direct the hair back to the center and making sure that you're keeping with the U shape that you started with. Once we've reached approximately the top of the ear, it's very important that you cross-check your haircut, making sure that all the lengths are even before proceeding to the front and connecting with the front. Because if you don't, then the possibility of you having a crooked haircut in the front is very high. Using the same diagonal forward direction, you want to go ahead and take a small section of hair, separate it, and depending on the length of your client's hair, you may or may not need to turn their head to remove the shoulder from getting in the way of the haircut. You want to comb down, making sure not to pull the hair out or over direct in any direction. Simply just straight and angle and connect the front to the back here. You want to repeat that on the other side, and again, connecting the front with the back. Again, you want to go ahead and take your hair and make sure your measurements are correct before proceeding with the rest of the haircut. So moving forward, you want to go ahead and continue to connect your back panels with your back and your side panels with your side. Making sure that you have a nice deep angle in your cut. Again, once you finish one side, you want to go ahead and do the same movement on the other side. Being sure to pay attention to your guide. Once you've finished cutting all of the perimeter, your first step in your haircut is complete. You want to go ahead and blow dry your client so that we can create textured layers in her hair once it's dry. Before we start to dry her hair, we're going to go ahead and use our #1 indispensable spray that contains a heat protectant, anti-frizz, anti-pollutant, solar filter, and also great fountain of nutrition. As you can see, we've gone ahead and blown her dry, and now we're gonna proceed to create a beautiful shaggy bang and some shaggy layers to go along with her fresh new haircut. And as you'll notice, we use the same section about mid-eyebrow. We're gonna create a shaggy bang by taking our comb first. Where the comb leaves the head is where the depth of your fringe should begin. So we'll take a triangle section on either side. We're doing this off of her side part because this is how she wears her hair naturally, and that's where it's naturally gonna fall. So we wanna make sure that we follow her natural hair pattern. We wanna create a deep V. Once you finish with your first subsection, you wanna split that in half, and you want to connect the other two subsections, making sure to over-direct the hair in the other direction so that we respect the integrity of the length. And we'll repeat the same thing on the other side, making sure to over-direct in the opposite direction, respecting her length again. Once you finish, you want to come back in and take some measurements and be sure that your fringe is the same on both sides. As you can see, she's got a few little pieces that were left out. So again, we'll come back in, and now it's perfect. Going back to the same part, you want to take approximately a ½ inch of hair from either side of your section to create our guide for our layers. Because our haircut is angled long in the front, we want to make sure to respect the length in the front and follow the same pattern when you're going to cut her layers. You want it to be at a diagonal. Once you finish creating your guide, you're going to go back and let it fall in natural fall, and you're going to work in vertical panels, working on one side first and then proceeding to the other. When we cut our layers, we want to make sure that we work in the same direction at a diagonal to respect the length and the point in the front. And you're going to follow until the shortest piece falls out, and then you can go ahead and move to the other side. Now it's time to connect the front with the back. We're going to do that by again working off of her part. Take a small section from the front to the crown. I'm going to turn her sideways so that you can see. And again, working in a diagonal direction. I'm going to go ahead and point cut to create texture. You don't want to cut a straight line because you'll see every mark. Once you've created that subsection, you can go ahead and glide down the back of the hair in the same diagonal direction, cutting more weight and not so much length. working off the guide that we created. You want to work as if it were a slice of pie in vertical panels from one side and then from the middle to the other. Again, enforcing that you're working in a diagonal 45-degree angle to create the most texture and volume for the haircut. When you lift and over-direct the hair up, notice that the length will fall down. We're doing this to avoid any holes or disconnections in the bottom of her haircut. We want to make sure that we leave this part nice and full so that her hair looks full and voluminous. Cutting the hair with the point of the scissor helps to create a lot of movement and texture without a lot of lines and markings in the actual haircut. And she can wear this straight, or she can wear it with some waves, which is what I intend to do today. But if you can see, she's got all this nice movement without having a bunch of lines and demarcation in her hair. See, it creates a lot of movement, a lot of texture, a lot of bounce, a lot of volume without creating a bunch of marks. Before we finish, we want to go ahead and cross-check and make sure that our front and our back all meet together and all work together in uniform. If your client desires more texture and movement, I would go back in using the same pattern with a texture shear that looks like this. If you want to come in and chew out some of the weight. In this case, she has pretty fine hair, so the more weight I remove, the more stringy it's going to look on the end. So I'm going to avoid that step with my model today. In this case, you can see there's a tiny little piece that's disconnected. You just want to go ahead and make sure that we blend the two together so that it creates a nice seamless look. I'm going to finish her with a 1.5-inch curling iron to give her a nice loose beach wave and a very lived-in look. And to help set our beautiful waves, we're going to go in with #3 wave spray. This is going to give her some control, a little volume, but no crunch. And it also leaves the hair very hydrated. Check out the amazing results of this fabulous A-line bob with shaggy layers. Pay close attention how she gets a beautiful blend around the face with seamless layering with no marking. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time.